That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Woo! That's right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the counselor's office. Mr. Gaming Counselor, and we are here with the wub dub. That's right. We're giving some huge pogger woggers in the chat and comment section because Bungie did something I honestly did not expect. And this week in Destiny, we give a W. We give praise, a rare moment of praise to Bungie. And I know there's some of you guys that are looking like this, especially with me. Huh? What, Bungie? You're giving praise to Bungie? What the hell's wrong with you? What the hell? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. Let's go into it. We'll come back to the rest of it, but this is obviously what I'm talking about. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. Nice wallpaper, by the way. The new player experience has been desperately needing love. In fact, the community has complained time and time again, especially if you got friends you want to play with and you want them to jump in. It's been a god-awful experience. Now, it is still very bad because there's a lot that's really not explained at all in the game. However, one of the worst things is you have a friend that you want to teach how to play, but you have to go through such a mundane, horrible campaign. It's not even like a campaign. It's just a mix mash of generic open world things to do, a couple strikes. It sucks. But now Bungie has said, no more, no way, no reason to worry about it, because now you can skip all that junk. Absolutely, yes. We're calling all Guardians out of all experience levels to join, rejoin, and bring friends to the battle against the Witness. While the new Light campaign serves players new to games like Destiny 2, it might not fit those players already experienced with first-person shooters. Starting in Destiny 2 Into the Light, after completing the second New Light mission, Sean Han will ask you to sync with his ship in the Cosmodrome, providing a new option to leave the New Light tutorial early and head straight to the tower. The option to skip the tutorial will remain for the rest of your time in the Cosmodrome, and no matter when you leave, you will still receive critical rewards like your ship and your Sparrow, so don't worry about missing out if you decide to skip. The ship will remain in the Cosmodrome for the duration of A Guardian Rises, so players who choose not to skip immediately can still do so at any time afterwards. So, you want to skip it? You can. You want to play a little bit? Maybe there's some New Light, Nightfall, or whatever that you want your friend to play to kind of get the gist of Destiny. By all means, I personally did it for a video, and I can tell you, you should just skip it. It's worth skipping. But here it is. Here's the option. You're going to be able to just click, explore the Cosmodrome, or join the front line. So you can jump right into it. You can do Onslaught, all that Into the Light experience right off the rip, which is fan-flippin-tastic. It's a W. It's an absolute W. Now, this is the biggest W of them all. This is probably one of my biggest complaints, my biggest criticisms, and they have come up with a solution that is worthy of praise. And I know that people are like, you fall into the dark side, Mr. Gaming Counselor. How can you praise Bungie? How can you give them the light of day of praise? I'm a fair person. Simple enough, right? I give criticisms for things that are broken. I will give praise when things are done correctly. Now, obviously, if they're the ones breaking things and then they go back on it, I'm not going to give them praise, like time gating, right? But if it's something that's been requested and they're doing it, regardless of how long it's taken them, because yes, you could argue that all these changes have taken way too long to do, but they're doing it. And I will give them praise for doing that, because they could just say, screw you, we're not going to change. So they're again, I give praise for making steps in the right direction. Even though they've shot themselves in the foot with time grading, The feet are still moving, which is impressive. Walking with a bullet hole in your foot, but they're still moving, and I'm still going to give praise. Now, if you're a veteran who plays solo, you probably are not going to give a crap about this, right? But if you're a new player, returning player, or you want to bring friends in, now you can, because you're going to get new light kits. I and many in the community called out Bungie when they tried to sell a $15 starter pack in Season of the Wish. This season, I called them out, and one of my review points in my video for Season of the Reused Assets was, you're going to try to sell a $15 starter pack, but in Season of Plunder, we got the Gift of the Thunder God, which was a whole kit for new players to just kick off. Then recently they announced that that was coming back, and I memed on them. I joked. I'm like, that's funny. It's cute that I made a criticism. It's coming back, but just that, you couldn't even bother make one for each element. Well, now here we are. Memes aside, they've actually made starter kits for each class and each element. To help bridge the power gap between new Guardians and our more seasoned defenders, players will now be able to head to the tower and choose a kit handpicked from Ikora and the Vanguard. The new light kits are bundles that contain a curated set of gear and subclass abilities. These kits are themed around specific subclass fantasies to help provide players with a shortcut to build craft and give them a taste of that sweet, sweet space magic. There are 9 kits in all, 1 for each subclass. Player can claim 1 per class. Enjoy. That's fantastic. Not only is it going to give you camping ready gear, subclass abilities, but exotic gear. You're going to get 2 legendary weapons, an exotic weapon, 4 rare armor pieces, and legendary class item. And you're going to get aspects and fragments. That's all we've wanted. That's all I've ever wanted for the new player experience, is that they actually have something to use. In addition, new light kits will also grant players a short quest that, when completed, will grant them a piece of exotic armor. New light kits will be available to all players, so whether you're a new light looking to gear up, a returning player looking to step into the modern sandbox, or a veteran looking to jumpstart a new character, Ikora will help you prepare for the fight against the Witness. Fantastic. Again, I put a lot of focus on this. This is huge. This is a W, especially for the new light players, or even casuals who maybe want to do other characters, but they haven't had time. They don't want to waste time trying to do a new mission for every freaking character. Now you can just jump in, have a kit, and you can start trying different characters out. Listen, I like Destiny. I don't always like Bungie. I don't always like what they do to Destiny, but I like Destiny. I enjoy Destiny. I play Destiny. If I really hated Destiny, I would not be playing it. I would not be covering it. I wouldn't even talk about it. I would move on to like Warframe. I would move on to other live service games. But I specifically have chosen Destiny over games like Warframe, not because Warframe's bad, but because I'm more invested and have always been more invested in Destiny 2. And I care about the community. I care about new players, returning players, people who want to get back into it, but they have been forced to eat crap. Well, now you get to eat a little good. Again, if you're a veteran who plays solo and you don't care about anyone, then you won't care about this. You won't see it as a W. And if you hate Bungie, then you may not see this as a W either. But I'm going to give a W for the people who are going to benefit this. This is free. It's a benefit that helps other people. And if it helps other people and they don't have to pay $15 for it, I'm okay with that. I'm happy. I'm excited. So that's my biggest focus. Obviously, they talk about the exotic missions. One thing that we do want to know is that they did state specifically, it is coming from Ada 1. For the 0 hour, you're going to be able to get the mission April 30th from Ada 1. So go to Ada, April the 30th. That reset, go right to her to get yourself going. Now, the crafting options, I knew this was coming. This was kind of hinted with Outbreak Perfected, that the stocks were going to be part of a 3-week mini quest, and it's going to be for all the other perks. Obtaining the exotic weapon from each of these reprised missions, new exotic quests will become available. This will allow you to unlock additional crafting options, including upgrading each weapon's unique intrinsic behaviors. I wonder if we already have the gun, base gun, will this make it better if we get the crafted version? Will the intrinsics be better? That's my question. A new quest will become available each week for 3 weeks. Then they mentioned the reprised ships. We have new names now. The Whisper ship is now called Parv of the Worms, inspired by 1,000 Wings. While 0 Hour will have the Vimana Junker, which is supposed to look like the Scrap CF, but inspired by Outbreak Prime. So I'm imagining it's a junky ship with a bunch of Siva Knights and whatnot. Hopefully it still looks better because the Scrap is bad. So hopefully it looks way, way better. We'll see. We'll have to find out. They talk about the PvP maps. They talk about the customization. You can change your name. All these will be available April 9th. Pantheon. Now, they really didn't explain more, unfortunately. Apparently, this essentially is a raid boss. So it's a gauntlet starting April 30th. You'll have an opportunity to do weekly challenges, escalating difficulties and rewards. This is a chance to rally your clan or use Fire Team Fighter, take on. There's a part of me that is like this hopium of hopium that I know will never happen, but there's always this hopium that they bring back other raid bosses, you know, sunsetted raid bosses, and we might have like a sprinkle, but 9 out of 10 times it's most likely just going to be all the raid bosses we have currently, and you're just going to have to deal with that. But who knows? Maybe Bungie over delivers. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. They talk about the Final Shape developer gameplay. We're actually getting, that was another critique, is I'm not hyped for the Final Shape. I have not seen actual gameplay. I need not a cinematic, I need gameplay. So we will give a full review live. So we'll check that out. They are going to be on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. I'm going to be on YouTube and Twitch. Then the emblems, if you care about the emblems, I don't care about the emblems, but if you do, you're going to get this one for watching 15 minutes, and you can catch up on the rest of your time, like Echo Diamond and those who held dear. PvP, they're actually making some changes in PvP, some more changes. In competitive, they're removing Survival and Countdown Rush. I hate Countdown Rush. For Survival was all right. We have Clash and Collision, and they're changing collision zones. Ammo crates have been changed as well. In Trials, they're going to do different versions. They're going to do a restricted and an unrestricted mode. I just personally, when they do a bunch of, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to leave it up there so you can kind of read. But my personal opinion is, I am a 50%er. Like, I play PvP often, but I'm not like a diehard. I'm more of a, I'm just gonna roll with it and just play whatever they crank out, and if it's bad, I just don't care. I'm not a every weekend you see me on Trials. I'm not in there carrying people. I personally do not care. So I'm gonna let the PvP mains and sweats and the 1%, 10%ers talk about it more in detail, whether they like it or they don't like it. I will play it, but I never really tell you guys how I feel. Like even Checkmate, I never bothered to try. I never even give my opinion on the sandbox currently, though I do say I do like the sandbox a lot better than the previous sandbox. That's my personal opinion. I hate that it's easy to snowball in Trials right now, where you never really know who has ammo, and it feels like some people are cheating because they always have ammo, and like, how'd you get ammo so fast? I only see you kill one person with a primary. Yeah, it feels bad in that regard, but in 6s, it feels really good. Like, it feels, if you're getting chain kills, it feels like you are actively earning your ammo versus it being just free. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. It's your opinion. I'm not going to grill you if you hate it or like it. It's your opinion, right? Let me know what you think about the changes that they're doing for ammo and how you feel about PvP in general. Now, this one's interesting. This is probably going to ruffle some feathers. They're changing not swap improvements. Essentially what's happening is now if you swap, so I'll give you an example. They use Shotgun, like conditional finality. If you have conditional finality in the kinetic slot and then you swap to an SMG, it's a different ammo type. You're now going to also lose your ability energy. That's right. So you can't hot swap weapons. You are kind of punished now for swapping around weapons. Now, if you swap a shotgun to a sniper, you won't be punished. I'm going to be honest. Most people who like gunplay, this isn't going to bother you. You're probably going to, especially if you don't use like bubble or well, if you're like a hunter, like I'm going to probably be swapping my stuff around anyways, because I don't care. I'll be honest. I'm a swapper and I will swap, especially if it means victory. Like I'm going to swap all day. Like it's not going to impact me at all. But if you rely heavily on abilities to get your wub, you are probably never going to swap, which could be a pro, but also could be a very big con depending on how you play it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about the not swap change. If you feel like you should be able to play how you want to play, or are you the person that says this should be swayer than balls? They should just make it to where you're locked in, like Grandmasters, where you can't change anything. I don't know. Let me know. I don't care either way. It's not going to impact me. I'm still going to go get my new flawless weapon, regardless, whatever it is. Except for the scout rifle, it was garbaggio. I did get all the other weapons, but man, that scout rifle, the prophecy. Ugh. All right, terms and conditions. They're changing some of that to focus on matchmake manipulation. Moving forward, intentionally manipulating matchmaking to gain so net limiters. If you are net limiting, like our auto SMG DMTers out there, sayonara, sucker. Bungie may or may not ban you. It depends on who you talk to. You may get banned. You may not. Also, Smurf accounts, sayonara. Now, this is never, I don't think this has necessarily been too much of like a streamer content creator issue. I think this has mostly been just people in general, like the sweatiest sweat players who play for sweating. You will get banned for having a Smurf account, for essentially being a top tier player, making another account and making your account like incredibly bad just so you play weaker players. I think it's so weird that people do that. Like, listen, I get SBM sucks, but to intentionally just try to farm lower tier players is kind of weird. But be warned, you will get banned. I don't know how they'll track this though, like unless you're advertising it on a stream. Like, hey, my account's this, but I play this. Like, are they going to IP ban you? Like, how are they going to know? That's my question. This will have no effect on those who play like trials. If you're carrying people, you're not gonna, it's only you if you are running a different account than normal. I don't know. That's going to be weird. I don't know if they can even enforce that. We'll see. I mean, technically they say recoveries are bannable, but if you take the time to like even bother Google, you're gonna I get ads, by the way. If I talk about it, Google's so weird. Or I'll be talking about trials or something to clanmate, and then on Facebook I will get an ad or trials carries or recoveries or whatever. I'm like, bro, what? If you type in trials, you're gonna see like 30 different recoveries. So if people were getting banned, they wouldn't be doing it. So I'm just curious how many people are getting away with services still. By the way, I don't care if you recover. I personally do not care. There's people that hate it. I don't care. If I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna lose regardless who I go up against. Like if I was going to lose, I was gonna lose regardless. Into the light, weapon balancing. Now this is kind of like the last big thing. It's kind of caught some people on the side. Unfortunately, breach load GLs are getting both a nerf and a buff. They're getting a buff in damage. Impact is doing 40% more, which is pretty nice. Unfortunately, the blinding nades is getting a 15% nerf. The radius, at least. The radius, which I'm going to be honest, I think grenade launchers with blinding nades are still going to be strong. However, Mountaintop is probably going to be the most dominant outside of blinding GLs. Like, I'm going to be honest. For damage, Mountaintop. For ad control, I'm still going to use my ignition code with slide shot and blinding nades. I'll be honest. 15% or not, you just gave more value to my ignition code because I can slide and shoot multiple groups back to back. So if you have a slide shot ignition code, you've got one of the best breach grenade launchers in the game. Second to ad for like ad control, but for ad clear, 100% is going to be Mountaintop. Like, why bother use anything else in that slot when Mountaintop exists? With enhanced perks, by the way, they've literally killed every other type except that. Lightweight bows sucked in PvP, so they're giving it a buff so you can do more damage, except for Lemonarch Wishender. Sorry, you're not getting that. By the way, Wishender was a lightweight? What? Wishender's a light? No way. I thought it has to be a precision. There's no shots a lightweight. By the way, lightweight's 6% if you like it. I don't use bows in PvP anyways. Precision, 450s. We knew it was coming. You're getting your damage reduced by 5%. I still think it's going to be nasty. Right now, I see more summoners, and we can expect that those will get nerfed because Bungie Pro typically hates auto rifles. They will let SMGs run wild for months, but they hate auto rifles. The moment there's an auto rifle meta, they will nerf it. I hope I'm wrong because I've had really a good time. I love auto rifles. They're fun to play with. They don't need to be meta, like overly broken, but I think they should be able to be a competitive choice, which they feel competitive, but the summoner kind of feels a little to certain points. But I'm not going to tell Bungie that. Okay, if you want to keep it spicy. I like auto rifle. Hand cannons. My God, I used a 140. Like 120s are spicy right now. Like I love my igneous hammer. Mwah. But 140s need love. Like I used a 140 and I felt, once I took an auto rifle off, I felt like I was handicapping myself. Precision 180s and adaptives 140s need a small tweak on how forgiving they are, particularly with explosive payload perks on adaptives. The same is true for pulse rifles and rapid fire scout rifles. Precision hand cannons can 2 crit, 2 body, low resilient guardians again, and more easily get 3 critical hits with damage boosts. Increase damage by 6%. Adaptive hand cannons, range cushion for the 3-tap, and we've offset their damage reduction from explosive payload to allow them to 3-tap guardians of any resilience within optimal range. So increase body shot by 1%, increase critical damage by 4%. Thank God. 140 is just, oh. Pulse rifles have increased forgiveness and allow 8 critical hits to kill low resilience guardians. Pulse rifles outside of like 340s and like the higher tiers have felt really bad. Like I tried using the BXR, which is one of my favorite, like reminiscing to the BR in Destiny or Halo, and the BXR in Halo, Destiny, I'm getting those mixed up again, has been bad. So I hope it's good. Lightweights, which I think this is where BXR plays a part in. I'm hoping it gets a buff. Increase body shot damage by 6%, increase critical hit damage by 3%. Adaptive, increase body shot damage by 5%, increase critical hit by 2%. Scout rifles, rapid fire, 2% damage. Ooh, if you're using rapid fires, they are getting I think the Crota one has precision instrument and it's pretty spicy right now. 2%, pretty good. Shotgun precision corrected a rounding issue that caused precision shotguns to require 1 extra pellet to kill max resilient guardians. Exotics, we knew it was getting a magazine bump, but ammunition reserves, so it's going from 18 to 24 before reserve mods, so stock up. 1,000 Voices finally getting some love. Increased the ammo to 11. I don't know if ammo was necessarily an issue. Like, it doesn't do crit damage, so I don't know how much I'm going to care about 1,000 Voices, but I hope it's good. Here's the sad thing. We all knew Quicksilver was going to get nerfed. It is. For PvE, it's getting nerfed. They are increasing the rocket triggers by 50%. That means you need to hit a target for like half your mag before you get a rocket to go off. That sucks. That sucks. Because you need, in order to get the grenade, you have to have a rocket. So you're getting half the amount of rockets you would have right now. Ooh. Ooh. I honestly would have made it to where you had to hit multiple rockets to get one grenade versus the decrease to rockets. Because then it's just a generic auto rifle with a small extra shot. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I use it, and I have used it, but I am not a Quicksilver Storm cultist. I'm more of like Wish Ender. I'm a Wish Ender cultist in other guns, but Quicksilver, it is very strong, and I knew it was coming. I'm glad it's not like my baby, but I can respect other people's babies being nerfed, and I can know it's a big oof. They're also reducing the grenade area effect versus combatants by 37.5%. Oof. This thing you could shoot into a crowd, and it was like chain reaction built into an auto rifle. This is hefty. This is a feels bad. I still feel like it's still going to be good. The damage will still be there. They even mentioned it being like as strong as freaking a heavy grenade launcher with each. Yeah, so the damage sounds like it's still there. But the radius is not, and the amount of grenades you're going to get is significantly reduced. We'll see. I think in GMs it will still be viable because, I mean, enemies are still tanky, so they're going to take some damage. So getting the rockets to trigger will still happen, just it'll take longer. So it may not be as efficient, but I still think it'll be good. Last Word getting a random 6% buff. Like, is this for PvP? Like, I want Last Word to pop off. Last Word sucks balls in PvP. I want it to pop off, brother. Forerunner inadvertently received the primary MO critical damage bonus. We fixed that issue and increased the base damage to compensate 6%. I have not used Forerunner since the ammo changes because it feels bad to use it. I don't ever use it in PvE because it feels like a waste of a slot, especially with its exotic catalyst being useless in like every regard. Perks. Recluse is back. They nerfed Master of Arms from 20% to 15%. Honestly, I think Frenzy is better now. Frenzy gives you 15. Yes, you get Recluse in on demand. I think in GMs, if I don't know why you're using an SMG, but if you're going to use an SMG in GMs, I think you need to use Frenzy. 15% max handling, max reload. Like, you can't go wrong with that. Frenzy is now the better perk than Master of Arms, in my honest opinion. Because the only thing you need to activate Frenzy is being in combat, which if you're playing the game, you're going to be in combat. And you don't have to hit anything. You don't have to kill anything. I mean, you do have to hit things. You have to be in combat. But you don't have to, like, do a certain amount of hits to activate. You just need to be shooting actively. And it's passively activating, which is much better than having to get a kill, in my opinion. The first version, yeah, listen, Magnificent Howl is garbage. It's trash. I don't see anyone really using this. I would like to be pleasantly surprised, but the fact that you have to get precision final blows, then reload, and then you can start chaining, I think it's garbage. You're better off using it. Like 140s are hurting right now, but there's like so many better 140s than Luna's Howl. With Magnificent now using other perks, Magnificent Howl, or not Magnificent Howl, Luna's Howl might be good with different perks, but I think they murdered this perk in my opinion. Let me know in the comments down below if you're living on the hopium. I can cope with you and hope that I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to be good. Micro Missile. We know that they've baked in Micro Missile into Mountaintop, so now it's its own perk. You can rocket jump with a grenade launcher. It's going to do a lot of damage. It does less damage to players, so you're not going to be able to one-shot. And they increased the reload speed. Juice. Permeability was applying Strand to the Slammer, so it was always Strand, which is really weird. But now it's not. Crucible changes only. Flinch can be randomized effects on duels, so increase the rewards for skilled gunplay. Reduced flinch on primary weapons across the board. Reduced flinch taken by primaries by 15%. Sunshot became very unforgiving with the new sandbox, so they buffed it. Precision damage, 11%. Wishender was doing more damage on exit, so they reduced the base damage by 5%. Correct some weapon ammo amounts from the meter rewards and crates. Listen, guys. It seems like they're trying to actively remove flinch from the game. It really does. It seems like they're trying to remove it. And I think flinch was a skill. Like being able to handle flinch is a skill. But it seems like they're essentially removing all flinch and all variability. My fear is we're going back to year one of Destiny 2, where it's handholdy. We're doing double primaries. We're sitting in the back. Yeah, that's my fear. I hope I'm wrong, but it feels like we're going back to where we're doing this neutral game. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Reduce strand fragments. Save your medallions. They're making it so where you can get the rest of your strand aspects. It costs 100 instead of 200 when the update comes out. So I'm saving mine. Don't use yours. You can get things cheaper if you've got a couple of aspects left to unlock. Again, we talked about this beautiful update. I absolutely love that new lights are getting some love. They're doing updates to the default chat experience. I don't care if you do. I'm going to let you read. They're talking about Iron Banner. Get the grenade launcher that doesn't exist because the drop rates are god-awful. Onslaught. They have a challenge, and I will talk about it. If you want to challenge yourself, if you do on launch, April 9th, it's a challenge. The first 3 fire teams to complete all 50 waves on Legend will receive a Lord Shack 7-inch mini replica per fire team member, 3 per team total. It kind of reminds me of my Celestial Nighthawk back there, except it's not going to be as big. It's probably going to be this little thing. But I mean, that's pretty cool if you like shacks. I personally, I don't care. But hey, a challenge is a challenge, and the community wants more of it. So there you go. And that's it. Like art, Sabathun. There you go. Art, one of the best things of the Destiny community. I got to showcase it. That's it. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. I've said my piece. I think you guys, again, I think it's a big W. I will give praise where it's due. I will criticize. Listen, I will always criticize Bungie, but I am about fair criticism and fair balance. If you do something right and it isn't you fixing your own mistake, I'll give it a praise. You could argue, well, this is their mistake. They made a crappy new player experience, and you're absolutely right. But they're still changing how they are doing new players. It's still a W. It's still a win. Is this gonna save Destiny? Again, no. We're making progress. We're starting to pick up speed. Let's keep it going. Keep the momentum going. I want to see more. If we release into the light and everything just falls flat after that, we don't do any more updates, we don't keep going forward, the final shape comes out and is a giant turd, I'm going to be upset. You'll hear me roar. But if this is like we're starting to pick up speed and we're start sprinting in the final shape, Destiny might be back. It might be back at full power. We'll see. That's a lot of hopium. I'm a skeptic, so I'm not going to sit there and, have a hook in my mouth and I will wait and see and experience it, and you will hear from me. Check me out. We will be live streaming the Into the Light and the Final Shape preview. I think you guys hit that like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. As you can see down below, if you're on Twitch, check me out. If you're on YouTube, we're almost to 600 subscribers. I'm going to chill out more because I want to see 1,000. Just a personal goal, just for funsies. So, I thank you guys. Game out. Huzzah. Bye-bye.